Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Melvin Way. These are Haas avocados that I'm going to be germinating the pits of. It's 2024 May. So as you can see, these are some recipes that they attached. Nothing is really that special or out of the ordinary here. You have these dark colored avocados. So we have a lot of these in California, and Haas avocados are the most common in stores and supermarkets. So I'm just showing you these as a demo. I've already extracted pits. The larger, lighter colored pit was extracted on day 4. The smaller, darker, more reddish one was extracted on day 0 when I started counting for the beginning of this plant growing series. So I've had many plant growing series regarding avocado in the past. Both pits were cleaned with paper towels multiple times to remove the fat. And then I used soapy sponges to wipe and get rid of all the remaining lipids. So on day 12, I changed my mind. So I've been changing the tap water every few days, but instead of germinating in tap water, which is a little unsanitary, I decided to go with something else. I wanted a change and took a risk. So the pits had been cleaned before I started soaking them in tap water, but they feel slimy every time I take them out. So I'm going to show you how I wipe these with a soapy sponge, and I have the faucet on more of a warm setting, which is actually not what you want. You want to set the water to cold so you don't shock the pits, but these are very large pits. So unlike small seeds, you could probably have warm or even hot water running over them for a few seconds and not have any difference be made, any negative differences. So just rinse them off really well, and I decided to soak them in hydrogen peroxide. So this is a bottle that's already diluted from the 3% stock that they come in, which is the concentration that they sell them at in stores. This will provide for sterility and maximum oxygenation for the developing pits. So the hydrogen peroxide reacts with anything on the surface. It disinfects, it kills bacteria, fungi, etc. And you can already see after just a few seconds, there's fizzing going on. So hydrogen peroxide is it's a free radical essentially, and it's reacting with whatever it can, and it's giving off water and oxygen. So it's a very pure reaction that doesn't generate harmful byproducts. So the question is, am I the first one to try this? Certainly, I don't think so, but nobody has ever documented this or made this suggestion online. So I thought it would be very interesting to try this new method because I've tried many germination attempts. I've had many avocado growing series before, and everything you see out there revolves around plastic zipper bags with wet paper towels, and then you put them in the dark. But those get moldy and really disgusting after a while. And tap water, that's certainly a very common approach. What you typically see is people will take the tri-pronged toothpick approach, and they'll stick toothpicks in at 120-degree angles of separation, and then they'll balance those on top of a cup or some kind of vessel. So I was thinking to myself, maybe there's an easier way, such as this, where they're just soaking in 0.5% hydrogen peroxide. Maybe you could go with the 3% if you want, especially if you don't have any reverse osmosis or distilled water to dilute it in. So germination is best done indoors under strictly controlled conditions and consistent temperatures. So because if you plant these outdoors, the nighttime temperatures are typically going to be very low unless you are doing it during summertime, or if you live in the tropics, then that can work, or maybe subtropics. But in San Diego here, during the May gray, June gloom months, which is right now as of the filming of this, the nighttime temperatures can be cold, 50s or 60s in terms of Fahrenheit. So that's well below the threshold of, say, 22 Celsius. That's considered room temperature in many places. But Yeah, this is well, as far as I know, this is a new method, and it's going to be completely sterile and provide for a lot of oxygen in there. So the water will have maximum oxygenation. And my gut feeling is that for seed germination, they can be immersed in water as long as the water is oxygenated. Maybe it doesn't even need to be oxygenated. But this is day 21, and it's still May of 2024. So you can see that the seeds split open. So that's how they develop. It starts by splitting on one side, and it goes to the top pole that's more pointy. And it looks like you can insert a small coin in there. So eventually, I don't know, in just 1 or 2 more days, it's going to split completely around any even circumference. So you can see that it's already happening here. So what's going on is these seeds have been biologically activated and they're growing internally. There's cell division already. So the biological program has been started because the conditions for germination have been met, both in terms of water and temperature. And that's one of the reasons why it's so important to wipe away all the fat. And the washing of the soapy sponge helps to finish off that process of removing all the oil and fat. And that enables water absorption. And also the dish detergent helps kill any microbes. So this is on day 22. It's still May of 2024. It's time to do the planting of these seeds. So I decided to use this smaller seed here in the backup pot. So we're going to plant with this bare end here that we're looking at. And you want to have the more narrow end that's intact facing upwards. So this is a backup pot. I've used it for various other plants before. And like I said, just have the bare pole, the flatter end of the pit that cracks open first facing down, because the roots will come out of the bottom, the tap root, and go straight down. And on the other side, after that cracks open on the top, will emerge the shoot system. So bury them maybe about 1 inch deep, 2 to 3 centimeters. You can afford to go a little deeper for such big seeds, because the shoot system is going to grow very fast and it's going to come up fierce. And you don't want to bury these things too shallow, because they might sort of move around, shift around in a soft growing medium like this. This is cocoa coir. So it's made from coconut husk fibers, and it's completely devoid of nutrients. I'll talk more about the nutrition in detail in episode 2 when that's ready. And this is the much bigger seed that's paler. Again, I'm planting with the broader pole, the bare pole facing downwards, and it's about 1 inch deep. So just give it a few pat downs. So this cocoa coir has been fertilized before. For this pot, actually nothing. I haven't had a plant series grown in this yet, so it hasn't been used for anything yet. So you can see a little weed growing there on the left. So these reservoirs are very large. The water reservoirs that are internal in these pots. These are expensive pots. So these planters have a very big soil capacity, and I'm just going to shower with some water to make sure the surface is wet. So the sun's beating down every day. Summer is about to begin, and when the sun beats down on the surface for a few hours, it dries everything out on the top. So due to the large capacity of both pots, though, I think after you dig down about even 1 centimeter, it should still be wet for many days. So as long as I keep them hydrated, the germination should occur without any issues. Although I'm trying this method for the first time, the hydrogen peroxide method, so anything could happen, but I'm fairly confident that we'll get germination. So I showered for about 1 minute here. This is a very gentle drizzle, so I don't move the position of the seed and then tilt everything around as would be the case if I were to just blast it with a very strong current of water. So on June of 2024, day 55, I saw that germination was successful for both avocado pits. So for this backup pot, I had to dig in there a little bit with my finger. And this stuff is relatively clean and very airy. So you can see it is germinating there. That's the shoot apical meristem coming out. And it should straighten itself out and grow very fast and differentiate into leaf primordia. And we should be getting our first set of leaves. So I'm going to cover that back up and look at the other pot. But this is a very, very promising start. So technically, this doesn't count as having germinated yet because it hasn't broken above the soil line. But you'll get some clues in the preceding days because you'll see basically tufts of this cocoa coir, whatever growing medium you're growing in, breaking open, cracking open, and being shoved to the side. So the larger pit is developing faster, I believe mostly due to its more favorable environment. It's true that it's from a much bigger seed, which could also be a differentiating factor. Also, there's the age of the avocados too. So if you go with avocados that are, have been sitting on the shelves for a long, long time, then those will start germinating for many seeds and inside many fruits eventually. So they might get a head start within the fruit itself. So moisture levels beneath the surface are very high. This planter dries out much quicker than the other one, but it's still very moist, just going down a little bit, just 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters. And this one is wet just below the surface. So it's doing really well. And I think we're off to a great start. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check back once in a while for further updates. Thanks for watching.